Welcome back to another episode of Real Stories. I'm your host, Jordan Sylvester, and today we've got two guests. We've got Jessica and Tyler Terpstra. My
So
goodness.
close.
Never going to get their last name right. They're not going to come
That's
back
okay.
again.
Aw.
Thanks so much for being here, guys.
Thanks for having us, Jordan.
Thanks so much.
Today, we're just going to be chatting about marriage.
Yeah.
And again, if you guys have been watching, you've heard a little bit about how they met. You've heard a little bit about how they got together, and they've got 3 boys. But just want to dive in and hear kind of the early years of marriage, when you guys first kind of got married, what that looked like. And then from there, we'll just take it where it goes.
Oh my goodness, you go first. What do you remember?
Yeah. So we got married in May 2011.
Bonus
Okay.
points if you remember the day.
It was a Friday on the 27th.
Hey,
It's a Friday.
It was because it was cheaper.
Yes.
It's true.
We are Dutch.
We did
didn't
that
have-
too.
We didn't have as much money back then. Yeah, starting out, so we had like a small apartment.
With no AC and no balcony.
That's
And
right.
we were there for 3 years.
It was back when apartments were cheaper in Windsor.
Oh my goodness. We looked it up. I feel like for fun, maybe a year ago. It's like $1,000 more.
Mm-hmm.
Same
Could
apartment.
not afford today's apartment.
No. But I'm glad we started out there. It was a good place
It
to
was
start.
Wonderful.
And for 2 people, it was great.
Yeah.
Nice and close
Yeah.
to both our jobs at the time. Oh, actually, no, you were
I was
doing
in
school
school.
still when
Yeah.
we first married.
Yeah, and then I did my photography business. But yeah, it was, when couples get together and they have like that terrible, wonderful house where they have those sweet memories where it's just the two of them, that was very much our apartment.
There you go.
Yeah, we were still very much part of the young adults at our church, so we would have them over instead of my house. Now it was our tiny apartment, but we would still have like 15 plus
Yeah.
people
There was
in there.
nowhere to park.
There was nowhere to park. There was no room anywhere,
But it was great.
but it was
It was
ours.
filled with fun.
Yeah, there was a lot of laughter. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah. And we had our first kid there.
We had Daxton.
just a short time.
Man. So, fun story. We were looking for a house before we got I got pregnant. But turns out I'm slightly picky.
Hmm.
And we had to increase our price.
As a real estate agent.
We had to increase our
Never run into
Is it-
clients like that.
our price by a lot because we were thinking like maybe 90,000. This is still back in the day when you
Right.
could actually get a house for 90,000.
Right.
But I think we had to increase it substantially to actually get a house.
Yep.
But
In
we
2014.
did find one, and we signed the papers when I was in labor.
Oh, wow.
That was a fun Tim Hortons visit.
You're in labor at Tim Hortons.
Oh,
All right, buying a house.
Before the
and
virtual
having
signing.
a baby.
That's right.
So you actually bought a house before you had the baby. You just didn't move in yet.
Correct.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Correct.
So
And thank God.
it was like 9
for that.
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like during Windsor's heat wave to boot because he was
Oh.
born at the end of May. And so it'd be baby Daxton and I just like sweating in this terrible, wonderful apartment.
What was the closing date in the house?
He was 9 weeks when we moved in. So I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Sometime in
That's
July.
a real estate
Yeah.
question. Sorry.
Yeah,
I don't
apologies.
I'm just gonna
remember.
nod and smile. I don't know something.
Oh, that's all
I knew
good.
when we moved in. That was a happy day.
So you guys
Yeah,
had your
it's good.
first 3 years of marriage, and then the baby shows up.
Yeah.
And so, in the first 3 years, what would you guys say was the most difficult or thing you didn't expect to show up in marriage? Like everyone has an idea
Okay.
of what marriage is.
Yeah.
But then you get married and things are not exactly as you expect. And no matter how much you've talked and enjoyed each other's experiences, once you go into, hey, look,
100%.
we're now married and this is our life together.
So I grew up with brothers. So I knew what living with boys was like. I also preferred guy roommates to girl roommates when I went back to university. So I knew that. But we were like officially in each other's spaces
Mm-hmm.
every day, all day. So
The
I
answer
think
is cold feet.
I have cold feet. I do apologize.
That's what you were surprised by?
And you snore. So it's all of those like life things that you don't expect until you're married. And it's every single day of just like, okay, you snore. Don't think we can live with this every single day. So you went through like a bunch of different things to try and like nasal strips and
Deal with the
And
story.
I
That's what I do now.
attempt to
But it
wear
took a while.
socks, but then they come off, and I do apologize. And
And it's a lot of adjustments in
It's
terms of
so
like
much.
not being willing to admit like you're not a flawed person.
oh,
You are.
we are so deeply
So
flawed, both
it
of
took
us.
me a while to believe her that I snored, for example, and
Well,
that
not
I
a
should
year.
that I should do something about that because
Yeah.
It's just one of those pillow moments where you're
Yeah.
just
That was
quietly.
Took care of the
not a
problem.
thought
You
at
stopped
all.
snoring.
I fixed it.
I'm pretty sure my wife has
Yeah.
considered that, you know, the
The
hit to
temptation
wake
is
you up.
real, but then you realize reality probably not a great idea. I think we learned communication and transparency is really important, but also we both come with baggage.
Mhm.
Like we're we're two people of this world. We didn't come perfectly packaged and with no damage, and no one ever hurt us, and we had to figure out how to not associate trauma with that person.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that was really hard. And I know to this day we still struggle with this because I know I have triggers, like especially with my autism and my ADHD, that you will do something and all of a sudden I'll be triggered and you'll be like, okay, and or you would ask if I'm okay. I'm like, I don't think so. I think that's something we need to deal with.
Yep. And then I'll ask why, and you'll be like, I don't
know. I have no idea why this is a thing. But I know there's a physiological reaction that we should probably deal with.
Mm.
Yeah. So like learning like those,
Yeah.
like I might say something and I'm like, that isn't the reaction I expected.
Yeah.
Right? It would be
Yeah.
like, it would be, well, like if I said something foolish, right? Like, what was an example? Can you give me an example that you still remember?
I'm
Please.
terribly sorry,
Please.
but I can think of many.
Oh.
So I remember
Nice.
being pregnant with Daxton, and it was Mother's Day. And you have learned how to write lovely cards, but for some reason, okay, it was a lovely gesture with terrible follow through. He bought me a Happy Mother's Day balloon from Dollar Store. Great, wonderful. He attached it to laundry detergent and just signed his name on the detergent, and that was his Mother's Day.
I don't understand why I did that.
But you
But I did.
as you think back, you're like,
That doesn't seem like the best idea.
Seems like a poor decision.
There could have been better decisions attached to
Yeah.
this whole thing.
I
But
don't always
again, I
fully
appreciate it.
understand
But-
old Tyler, like young Tyler maybe.
Young Tyler
We're
was
very
not very
divorced,
bright.
divorced and
So
Learning.
I'm
Yeah.
very
You've
much
learned
a words
and
of
matured.
affirmation person, and you would just literally sign your signature on everything, and that would be it.
Mm.
And so I'm like, we need for me to feel love, and I know I am a lot. You know I'm a lot, but
no, I love you.
I love you too. But let's face the facts. I'm a lot. We need to work on the words of affirmation because for me, that is my number one love language, right?
Mm.
So it was things like learning how to train myself
Yeah.
in
Mm.
something that didn't come naturally to me. So it's like, okay, and I'm a very logical thinker. So
Yes, he is.
okay, what does that mean? Okay, I can start by saying something nice to you, like
Mhm.
in the morning.
Mm.
Whether if we're both waking up at the same time, I can say something nice. Then it was, Tyler, it doesn't have to be the same nice thing every day.
The
It's
fun-
not.
Meaning if it's just on repeat.
It's so much fun being married to an engineer because he's so logical and analytical in everything.
Mm.
So for an engineer, it's just like when I have success, why mess with that?
Right.
That
She
like I
still
remember.
This
is
works.
beautiful, but like she,
Yes.
saying, yeah,
Smart.
So I remember the
That
first
one
time
works
you
pretty
brought.
often. There's many words you can use though for beautiful.
it's true.
Legitimately, yes. Please learn beautiful and all the synonyms, if that's the word. Yeah, that go along with it because that would be wonderful. I remember when you first brought me a bouquet of flowers, it was lilies, and because that was the first time you ever did that, I had the most wonderful reaction. But then every single time you bought me
Like
lilies,
the next 10 times, I was like,
Of course.
oh, she
And I'm
loves them.
like-
Okay, great.
and this is where communication's important. I had to tell him bluntly, I'm like, there are other flowers that I would appreciate more
Mm.
than
Right.
these.
And learning those communication strategies and not to be taken aback or hurt in those
That's a
moments
hard
because you're just
one.
like, well, I thought
I was doing
I
it
thought
right.
I was doing this.
I think that's actually one of the most profound things in marriage. It's like we want to do what's right. We're trying, right? But
Yeah.
again, it doesn't come naturally. So when we figure out something that seems to
Yeah.
make our wives happy, we're like, okay, let's do that again. Yet the next time, and this is always the joke, it's like today it worked to get the result we were
Yeah.
hoping for, and tomorrow it doesn't. And we're like, this puzzle doesn't make sense. But it's but I
I'm
think
sorry,
you no,
but
but I
it's
think you brought it up
true.
was we weren't understanding what about it was making the
Yeah.
result. So because we thought it was the thing, but it was actually the action, the issue is if there's no
Absolutely.
thought to the action
Mhm.
because it's now a response, it loses some of its value.
It's like
And
you've
so,
been married for a while.
yeah, I may or may not. Like, again, I know my wife likes Gerber daisies. And so once in a while, especially I go to the store. One of my bad habits is if my wife wants junk food, she sends me to the store. Because odds are I'll go
it's not
down.
her then getting.
Correct. But I come home with
Logic.
boxes of
Absolutely.
cookies. I come home with ice cream. I come home with all kinds of stuff. Because whatever's on sale, I just wander around and buy.
Yeah.
And so, but in marriage, it's like, again, I do, but I'll also walk by flowers and sometimes I'll think to buy them.
Oh.
And what's funny is she actually really likes them, but like sometimes there's almost no response. And so I'm like, oh, well, flowers or whatever. And she's
Yeah.
like, why don't you ever buy me flowers? I'm like, well, I don't know. Like,
Because you had a bad reaction the
Well-
last time. Why would I
well,
do
it wasn't even necessarily
Yeah.
a bad reaction. It was just a nothing. And then other times she's very grateful. And so there's just
Yeah.
times in marriage where it also is just maybe she's having a bad day and had nothing to do with the flowers.
Absolutely is a huge factor.
But men are always thinking of how to solve for,
Yeah.
and women
yeah.
are emotional, and sometimes they have no reason for it. Like they might be happy with the smallest thing the one day, and this extravagant thing they're not happy with the next day, but it has nothing to do with either thing. And that for men is
Oh, we know
Bewildering.
we're so confusing.
what is happening.
I apologize, but
No.
yeah, I
But it's
fully
good to know.
and I have told you and the boys bluntly. I'm like, I'm having an off day.
Hmm.
I apologize for like whatever happens for the rest of the day.
And me and the boys are like, all right,
We're all prepared.
how are we gonna help?
Run.
Legitimately has been many days of like, I'm gonna take the boys out for the day. Is that what you need? I'm like, maybe. Let's try that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
And there's also been days where she's like, I'm taking the boys. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? She's like, I don't know, but something. Right?
I wish I could understand my own emotions. Turns out they're complicated even for girls themselves.
Well, yeah. It's why are you crying? I don't
know. Oh my goodness. Pregnancy was
What-
great.
One of the funniest things, and again, God has a sense of humor as He puts us together.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you want to enjoy something? Here, two very different creatures try to figure out how to live as one.
And
And you
I
have
have learned lots of prayer. Lots
Yeah.
of prayer. Especially when I'm
Understand.
bewildered. It's like, God, I need your help.
Mm.
And if there's something I need to do, help me. And if there's something I just need to not do, help me there.
I think one of the funniest and best parts of our relationship is because I hear God, and you have such a good relationship with God as well, is that I find the two of you guys team up on me so much.
For good
you'll
reasons,
say it,
for loving
and then
reasons.
God will say it, and then you'll confirm it again, and I'll be like, I get it, guys. I need to do this.
And not
Well-
always that tone.
So
Often that tone.
So I find one of my more interesting ones is if I say something that I think is wise to my wife, it does not come across that way. But if one of her friends says the exact same thing,
Yeah.
or the spirit
Yeah.
or something at church brings this about, all of a sudden she's like this thing and she's excited by it. I'm like,
You-
my brain, well, the problem is fundamentally you should just accept it and be happy and
Yeah.
shut up.
And that's
But
one of my
I
problems.
want to be like,
Yeah.
but I think I told this to you like 2 weeks ago. The issue is again, what was the intention?
Yeah.
And I think so often I am trying to be helpful, but the hardest thing that I find and I think for most of us is we want to fix it.
Yeah.
How do we fix the problem? Because for men, we're so simple. Our problems generally are very fixable. Like we're either hungry, so we eat something, right? We just go and find food. Like we're not really worried about what it is, or we
Yes.
are bored, so we go do something where we're very aware of our need. And I find, at least being married to a woman, that's not how you guys operate. It's
No, like eating and the simple task of eating can be so psychological, and it's not for men, or at
No.
least the majority, it seems
Yeah.
like. And so we're a handful, and I'm sorry, but life
there's
is
perks.
fun.
We're not perfect
Hey,
either.
Life is very fun.
there are perks to marriage. You know, you have 3 children, so
We
there's
do
perks
have
to
3
marriage.
children. They're fun. Oh man, no, honestly, marriage has been, it's such a blessing. Like it's hard. It's, I read this amazing book and it's just called The Hard Good, and that is a really good way to describe marriage because it's every day, it's a hard good because you're doing this amazing task of life together, and you can join and like start off the day with, when we text each other like good morning handsome, etc. And so we start off really intentionally trying, and then you'll be at work and I'll be at homeschool with the kids, and then you'll come home, and the first thing we'll do is like we'll embrace each other for like a solid however long I need at this point. We both know. Like sometimes it's a 3-minute hug of if it's a day. But we've learned, I think, at least on my half, is we've learned how to give each other what we need. It seems like, especially after 15 years of like, we've learned each other. We've learned how we both give and receive love. And I think above all, we really do pray together, and we take our relationship with God really seriously.
We've been through enough trauma.
We've been through a lot of
trauma
life.
and drama.
Yep.
We've been through a lot of life that we know there is no way that honestly this marriage would have survived.
It's like our marriage text: a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken.
Very, very, very true. But yeah, like as great as our marriage is, like it's hard. In my opinion, it can be unnecessarily hard because of our life situation, which is we have 3 autistic and ADHD and OCD and ODD children. And regular marriage, in the sense of like with neurotypical children, marriage is hard.
Right.
But man, we have come really, really become really close. But we've also been through the ringer, which has led us to counseling many times at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
and our kids to counseling, and
learning ways to be successful.
define successful.
But that's, well, you're married.
We're still married. Absolutely.
You're still married. You have 3 healthy children. They have their personalities, and each person does. But that, to me, I think that's actually a very, you said define successful, because my brain goes, well, that's successful because, again, there's an accomplishment. See, perfect isn't an ideal that does exist.
I agree.
And I think the mistake, even like, again, both of my kids, they both have their struggles, and some things that went on. But again, it was a little more manageable. We also only have 2.
Yeah.
And with that, you look at life, and in some ways you think about the way your kids are raised and whether or not you've messed them up. Because my kids are a little bit older. So my brain looks at, I can see some of the ways I haven't, some of the attributes my children have picked up. I'm like, that's not great.
Yeah.
And other things though, you're like, oh, amazing. I'm so grateful that they got that. And in all of the good and the bad of the humanity, it's like, as parents, it's like, how do we raise our kids for the Lord? How do we, present ourselves and them watch us? And like you guys were talking about, as a father, as leader, how do I lead well? How do I show that well? And as my wife, who comes alongside and supports and takes care of and manages our family in such an amazing way. When I hear about your story, right, like you said, there's so much going on all the time. There's overwhelming things happening. And so when you guys lean in on the Lord there and you think about that and you say, okay, I know we've got all this crazy, but isn't it like at the end of the day, He also gave you the capacity to withstand the crazy? Because there's a lot of people.
Man. What is it that we say?
God doesn't give us more than He can handle.
Right. Well, yeah. And that's why He's part of the marriage.
That's right.
Because it was just the 2 of you, as you mentioned, it probably wouldn't have worked. But because God's a part of it, He's brought about this education within yourselves. You're learning how to be a team together with Him to help raise your boys, to be a team together for your own benefits as you seek the Lord first. Yeah.
I think in this world in particular, there's so many easy ways out. And especially with marriage, you can enter it thinking, it doesn't need to be forever. Or you can give yourself an excuse of like, nope, this is a solid enough reason to leave. Like I remember, and if it's okay, I don't know. we've gone through some really hard times. Like I remember promising myself like I would never stay with somebody that hit the kids.
Mm.
And not like spanking, but like hit. And our life is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to really watch your hands around the kids. And so I remember there was one time that you just simply put your hand hard on Sam's chest to go back to sleep because once again, he was awake after every night, right, that he's been awake. And he went and he told his Sunday school teachers the next day, which got
That was a
CAS.
literal bring me to my knees situation, and very humbling.
You fainted in the parking lot
Oh.
when our pastor said, I have to call this in.
Right.
It was a really hard moment. And in that moment, what do? I promised myself like I would never stay with a man. And now CIS is involved. So that's a perfect excuse. Like I could call it.
Right.
I promised myself I would. But then you have to give yourself like, okay, is he willing to change? And that was the first thing you said is I'm going to counseling because I don't want to be like this. I need to learn how to watch my hands. I need to learn how to be the dad these kids need.
Yep.
And it's hard. And Lord bless you, because being a kid to boys is a dad to boys is hard. Is so hard. But being a parent to like not only one autistic child but 3 is
and I think
hard.
in that humbling moment from God, I really learned, okay, there's a lot more of myself I need to, like, in the Christian term, put to death.
Absolutely.
Right? Like when I am thinking about myself or what I want to do, it's taking away from what the kids need or what Jessica needs or what I should be giving to God. And so I think that was a God-given reckoning moment.
Absolutely.
That he has continued to work from.
Right.
And that's how he works.
Yeah. When you talk about that, again, I may or may not have a similar experience, but it was more my child telling people at school about some activities that had happened, but not all within the week that he spoke of them.
Okay.
Two experiences that did actually happen. They're both real. And when CIS came, I was honest with them. I just said, yeah, no, those aren't things. I responded poorly. Those would be definitely like I've always qualified abuse as this. Punishment is when you're in control. Abuse is when you're not. And that can be verbal and or physical. And as any human being knows, it's not our intention, but then like you said, but why? Why was this the response? And how then does this never be the response again? And how do I quell whatever's wrong with me? Because the only reason that I would respond this way is because there's an error.
Yeah.
It's not the external. It wasn't the child. We can't yes, the child probably from some perspective might have deserved a punishment, but
they didn't deserve that.
Correct. And so where's the balance? And so with my kids, one of the greatest gifts I was ever given was the ability to communicate.
Yeah.
So when those things happened, it was never dad was right. I had to say, no, dad was wrong too. You weren't right for what you did, but dad was wrong. And I need to apologize. Because that's, I think, the difference though. And again, abusive relationships, like things that maintain abusive things, don't have a need for repentance or a need for forgiveness, which is, I think, the separation. And so as you guys talk about those struggles, it's when our kids live with us, they're living with broken people. We're not perfect. And the worst thing we can do is pretend that we are, right?
Absolutely.
It's like, no, I am broken too.
Yeah.
And so when I think back and at this moment, just so we're clear, they showed up to my home and my home was completely gutted to the studs. Like the house was an absolute disaster.
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, they might take the children due to the living environment.
Absolutely.
Right? Like
That's not
but
good.
the best part was they came in, they said, no, like you guys are amazing. Like the whole, cause I was just honest with them. I said, here's the truth. And they're
that's
like,
the
wow.
transparency of it all, right?
And I think that's the thing I've learned is transparency, even in the circumstance that my son was in trouble at school. So he needed to get out of it. And so he threw me under a bus, which is all like I said to everyone, he's not lying about what happened. He's lying about when. They did not happen recently. These are things that have happened over the years. But again, it doesn't justify them either. But these are conversations where at those times I did apologize to him. And then when it did come about, I was able to be forthright and just say, yeah, no, you're right. I shouldn't have. Like it's not, there's no justification for my action. I was wrong.
And that's how we have learned to work to parent these boys, these wonderful boys, is as we have difficulties, as we have shipwrecks, as we have challenges, as we show our brokenness, when we need to do that repentance and forgiveness, when appropriate, we're showing the boys, right? Like, Dad did this, you heard this, right? And this is where we're coming back to God, and we want to show you boys, like, from my perspective, I want to show you this is what a man does, right? This is how you apologize. This is how you talk to God and ask him to help. And I wish my parents had done more of that, but I totally recognize that, Jordan, that is a sign of maturity, and it's such a help for kids to see, oh, like, this is the path I can take. Right.
You're allowed to make mistakes. And when you do, it's how, like, one of, I think, the most interesting things in life is it's not always going to be the mistake that defines you. It's your response to it.
I fully believe in that, because this world is flawed. You're going to make mistakes, if not on the daily. It's how you respond from it. Like right now, all three boys, something that we're really working on, especially with their youngest, is resilience. Because you're going to make mistakes, whether small or big, or, yeah, you really messed up. In fact, you burned a bridge, you broke a friendship, whatever that is. It's how you bounce back, specifically how you bounce back with God at the center of that. We believe in transparency with our boys. So communication, I really shouldn't have done that. I acted wrong. I'm really sorry. I do hope you can forgive me, but also, how should we have done this? How should we have actually done this? And you, specifically because of the autism, social interactions are really, really complicated, because we miss so many underlining social cues. We just don't see them. So something that we teach in our homeschool is social emotional learning of, like, how would you deal with this social situation?
Right.
Okay, if you need to apologize, practice. How do you apologize to someone? Okay, how do we forgive people? How does the relationship go on from there? Right. Is it okay if you need to be mad for a while? So it's all those things that would be just normal for people.
Sure.
For the neurotypical. Those are legitimate things that need to be taught.
And and I think as well, we have learned over the years to help, like, point out things in each other and in our kids of, like, you seem to be going down this path. You seem to be, like, help them identify or help each other identify.
Calling
like,
out the
you're
emotion
getting
that
frustrated.
you're
Do you notice that you're getting frustrated? Do you know that you're close to a cliff? That, like, you seem, right? Like, and learning to get better at that ourselves. Like, certainly when I, way back to beginning of marriage, I was not good. I did not know when you were getting close to a cliff. I'm getting better, but
you've improved tremendously in this marriage regarding my feelings and emotions, unbelievably. But yeah, I mean, teaching emotions is not something that's normally taught, but to truly understand yourself of, like, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? How long do I need to stay in this? Because, like, when I'm talking about my depression. Oh my goodness. Okay. So a big part at the beginning of our relationship was teaching Tyler compassion. Because I don't know if it's an engineer thing, but, like, we have the most amazing speech written from Tyler's mom on our fridge, and it's, Jessica, when you're frustrated at Tyler because he's being so logical and analytical, remember that's what attracted you to him in the first place. Tyler, when you're so frustrated at Jessica because she's so spontaneous and impulsive, remember that's what attracted you to her in the first place. But the thing that I didn't know is that he truly, I wouldn't say had zero compassion, but it was never on your radar. So teaching you how to be at your workplace, of, you would tell me something about somebody and I'm like, oh, did you ask them how they're doing? And you're like, why would I ask how they're doing? I'm like, because they're clearly going through a hard time, and that's
and they're human, and we should care.
We should do that. And so whether you're neurotypical or not, learning these emotions are essential, in my opinion, because God is filled with all these emotions and he blessed us with them. We should be able to articulate and learn through them, especially to have community,
Mm-hmm.
right? To have community with each other, we need to be in the know of, okay, how do we take care of each other? How do we talk to one another? Really?
How do we help each other?
Yeah.
How do you keep the passion alive in marriage?
Date night.
Date night.
Regular
Legit.
date nights.
There you go.
Legit is a thing. Yeah. Because there was a time that we didn't date for like longer than a year. If no, way more than that
yeah.
with baby James. Yeah, we just,
Yeah.
you forget how to like each other.
And that is something we see so much in friends and people that we know. It's tough, especially for people
I would
who've
agree.
left their home and are in a different city. So many people we know,
Don't
like,
have
hey, you want to go?
babysitters.
No, they don't have any babysitter.
We
so
know
they can't
so
come.
many people
and
that don't have any
do it all the day.
babysitters. So it's just like, well, when do you date? And they're like, we're good. And I guess because we've been through the ringer, we know like how important it is to remember that you're not just mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
That originally you were husband and wife. You dated. There's a reason why you guys are actually together. You're married. Why? Why would you want to keep that together? Why? Because you can be parents, but you can also be so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, it's date night. It's remembering how to have fun and have those belly laughs and have those experiences that you can talk about more things, right? But it took us a long time to remember, oh yeah, dating is important.
Lots of help. Thank God.
So
Understatement.
if you guys were looking at a couple, like if somebody was thinking about getting married, they're not married yet, they're young, what advice do you give to the young people out there who are pondering the idea of one day finding a spouse?
What was the thing that we did before getting married with Uncle Ralph?
Premarital counseling.
That one.
Well, that's once they're ready to get married. Yes.
Oh, before
Counseling.
that.
Like if somebody's like, what should they be looking for? I'll ask you. So what should they be looking for in a husband? What would be a quality if a young girl's out there today's world saying, you know, I'm 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, young woman going up and being like, what should I be looking for in the man? What would be that characteristic that you would say?
Self-respect and respect to you.
Self-respect for themselves?
For themselves
and
as
for-
well as for you.
Okay.
I didn't have respect growing up. And so it took me a long time. Like still to this day, he'll say, I love you. And I will still say why. I still don't get it, but I'm better than where I was.
Gotcha.
So he really respected me and my decisions. Like when I got kicked out of university, there was no harsh judgment. Now there easily could have been. There could have been a lot of words said, but he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a lot of the grace of God in your tongue of when to say things and when to not and how to say them. And I think you've had to learn a lot. of that.
Generally a man of few words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But making you feel loved and that you're actually worth something is
Value.
really, really important. Yeah, feeling value.
Awesome.
Because this world can take away all of that. Don't
Right.
be with someone that makes that worse.
Gotcha.
Be with someone that really makes you smile and is willing to go through the hard stuff with you. But again, like a big part of it is counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Of ask them bluntly, if I'm mad, is that enough reason to go to counseling? Like what's the boundary?
Pre-decide.
Yeah. What is the reason that we could go to counseling? Like, does something really bad have to go to counseling? Or can me not being okay be enough?
Right.
And it was simply, I remember Uncle Ralph, your uncle that married us, and he did the premarital counseling. He's like, if one person feels it, that's enough reason.
Right.
And so I could always say, let's go to counseling. And it was never because our marriage is in jeopardy. It's because I'm not able to communicate the way I should right now.
I need help.
I need help communicating.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. And I
No.
feel like counseling is seen as such as like a, oh no,
Mm.
are you guys okay? Are you going to make it? Yeah, we're going
Right.
to make it. And here's how we're fixing it.
Right.
I'm in it. I want to fix this.
Yeah.
I just need help.
It's a
That's it.
service call, not a. It's not
Yeah.
terminal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so never
That's
see
good.
that as negative.
And I would say to young men, like, look at where the woman's heart is. What
Mm,
is, where do you see the love? Is
Okay.
it's her love for God? Is it her love for other people? Is it the way that she cares about people and she helps people?
That's definitely one of the things that really attracted me to you.
Oh,
It was like one of the small pieces of maturity I had at that age
That's amazing.
that I could see that.
So we've got respect, and we've got look at where they love and how they love.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, those are they're powerful things that help us in our seeking. Because again, I think the world is trying to understand what marriage is again.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of things said about it over the last number of years, and so those are very helpful insights to the young people. So thank you so much, guys, for
Glad to.
coming on and sharing honestly about your real life and the real stories and
Thanks for
some of the
having us.
circumstances. Again, guys, this has been Real Stories. This is the marriage version. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. If you want more of these types of episodes, we'd love to hear from you. Again, you can watch us on YouTube, or you can follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.